What's going on, guys? Cody Marchant, Heinze here, and today we are breaking down the game of the week, possibly the game of the year, possibly the game we'll see in early February between the Chiefs taking on the Rams. Early in the week, we thought this game was going to be played in Mexico. The field was awful. It's been moved to LA. The lines moved a little bit. The Rams are now favored by 3.5. We have a historic 63.5 point over-under, guys. This is going to be a battle, and I'm telling you, I cannot wait for this game. We got Pat Mahomes, we got Kareem Hunt, Todd Gurley, Tyreek Hill, Brandon Cooks, Robert Woods, Travis Kelce. We have so many people to play, and it's just so interesting the way that they price this slate, and it makes it a really cool slate to try to figure out, try to put some different lineups in, because there's so many different directions you can go, and I think that this is just going to be a fun slate to play. I don't love playing all these showdown slates, but, the Chiefs and Rams are playing. I'm going to have some lineups in this week, guys. I just want to, break it down for you guys, see what I see. I'm not telling you, hey, I'm as confident as I am on my Sunday lineups. I love my Sunday lineups. I put a lot of work into those. These are more fun. These are harder to predict the way that I do my research. So I just want to give you guys a heads up before we go into everything. So let's just get right into it, guys. We got, at the captain slot, we got a lot of tough choices because all the top guys are so appropriately priced. We got Todd Gurley at $1 million, Patrick Mahomes at $1 million, Tyreek Hill at 15, Jared Goff at 14.4, Kareem Hunt 13.2, Robert Woods, Cooks, Kelce, and the only other viable players is Josh Reynolds averaging 3 points a game at 72, Gerald Everett if you think he's going to get an uptick. With no Cooper Kupp, what are you gonna go out on a limb with Chris Conley at 1,800? You kind of got to play a stud this week in the captain spot, which is tough because then you miss out on a lot of the cool guys later on in the flex spots. But let's just see what we like. Obviously, Todd Gurley is the most expensive player on the slate because he's getting the Kansas City D, who can be run on very easily. He's been the best player in fantasy all season, averaging over 30 points a game. He's had two of his worst games of the year in the last two, but that includes touchdowns in each game, 11 targets, and 120 rushing yards last week. So Todd Gurley on his worst game is better than almost everyone else in the NFL when it comes to fantasy this year. And, it's a great spot for him. It could be one of those things where, even if the Chiefs come out on fire, Tyreek Hill takes two to the distance right away. Tyreek Hill takes 2 to the house. Todd Gurley doesn't get phased out of the game because he's such a good offensive weapon. He's still going to be getting the balls handed off to him. He's still going to get involved in the passing game. So Todd Gurley is completely matchup proof. He's completely game script proof. I do not hate going Gurley a captain. Patrick Mahomes is just a baller. They're trying to get Showtime Mahomes going early in the season. I'm glad that didn't stick, but he really does like playing in front of the lights, guys. This guy has no fear. He's been throwing out 125 passer rating 4 games in a row pretty much. He is just an absolute beast. He only has 2 games under 90 at passer rating. I guess he had a pretty bad game against Jacksonville. But the thing is, his touchdowns, 31 touchdowns in 9 games. Does he have a bye yet? 10 games? That's just ridiculous. He's averaging over 3 touchdowns a game. And, the Chiefs are going to score points in bunches. The Chiefs are the #1 scoring offense in the league right now. The Rams are having troubles in the secondary. They're actually having trouble against the run game the last few weeks. Patrick Mahomes, can't go wrong. I love Patrick Mahomes. This week's more, you love all the players. You love all the matchups. It's more about how to fit them in price-wise. Where do you want to give up? What positions do you want to punt? And who do you can't risk having them not in your lineup, And I think it's a difference this week. I think this is one of the matchups where you can play cash for a showdown slate because there's so many solid options. But in tournaments, it's going to be interesting to see, do you want to be risky? Do you need to have Brandon Cooks and Tyreek Hill in there just for their upside where it's they can change a slate? Or do you want to have Todd Gurley and Kareem Hunt in there that are going to be involved in 2 of the best offenses in the league, 2 good matchups? Do you want to have 2 good quarterbacks that have been studs in these type of showdowns? It's tough where it's you want to play all the guys, but who can you actually fit in? So, I love Tyreek Hill against Marcus Peters, who's been a bum. I love Jared Goff. We know what we talk about whenever a team scores a lot of points against them. Jared Goff has his best games of the year. Plus, he's been scoring 24 plus in the last three games. Kareem Hunt had a little bit of a weird game last week when everyone thought he was chalk, including myself. But that's all right. He's still before that, the 4 weeks before that, for that whole month, he was actually the best running back in football ahead of Todd Gurley. Put up like 120 total points almost or something like that. So, Kareem Hunt, I am not worried about. The Rams have actually been super lenient against the run over the last several weeks, which is weird with that awesome front with Aaron Donald, and Ndamukong Suh, Brockers. Like, they're solid up front. I don't love their linebacking core. And, they're always, like, the way that they play, they're kind of like that old Patriots defense that bend don't break, and they're trying to win the game with offense right now, which is not a problem. But Kareem Hunt, I just don't want you guys to think, okay, he's playing against Aaron Donald, the Rams can't be running, because that's not the case. Not this year. Like, if you look at his matchup, it says it's 10th, like, their top 10 run defense, but I'm not worried about that. That's more so they did better at the beginning of the year than they have right now. So if it was just, like, last 6 weeks, last 5 weeks, they wouldn't be a top 10 defense against the run. Robert Woods will see a lot more routes run from the slot without Cooper Kupp. He's probably the safest play in this whole entire game. His floor, besides a 7-point game, his floor is like 12. His floor is 12, but his upside is like 36. You know what I mean? He can have monster games. He's shown it before. I know he had a big game against Minnesota too. Yeah, 24 points. I guess he only had 1 touchdown. That's what made the difference there. But he's as safe as it gets at 12K. Or for this, it's 12K, but in the flex, he's only 8K. And then last is Travis Kelce, who, it's tough to predict. I don't like him as much as the other guys on the slate for captain. But at 7,400, I'm assuming that he's going to be in a lot of my lineups because he's going to give me salary relief in places where it's like, all right, now I can pay out for Todd Gurley because I want Travis Kelce instead of Brandon Cooks plus Kareem Hunt, and I'd rather do that. You know what I mean? So it all depends on how you want to construct your lineup. But the thing that jumps out to me here, down low, if you want to go with like a really cheap captain, Sammy Watkins is really interesting if he's playing, but it's like he didn't even practice on Friday, which kind of hurts. It's never good when they get downgraded late in the week because he played on he practiced on Thursday, so missing Friday is kind of strange. It's never good to see. That's going to make a huge difference in the way we finally make these lineups. So we're going to make a lineup with the assumption of Sammy Watkins is going to play, and then if he's not going to play, because I think Chris Conley down here at where's Chris Conley? Chris Conley at 1,200. If Sammy Watkins isn't playing, he's probably going to be pretty chalk, even though I understand he hasn't been he's definitely not a target monster, but at 1,200 salary relief when you're getting a Chiefs receiver in a 63.5 point over-under with Patrick Mahomes throwing him the ball, I think that if Sammy Watkins doesn't play, you're going to have to go there. But what I want to do to start my slate is I think Kareem Hunt is one of the focal points of the Chiefs offense. I think that, like I said, when the Rams haven't been as good against the run, and Kareem Hunt's been just so over the top, like a stud lately. He's one of my favorite players in the league. He plays up in these big games. You can't phase him out when it comes to running the ball or receiving the ball. And he's as good of a chance as anyone on this team to break a big play. I think Tyreek Hill is very interesting at the captain spot, as so is Brandon Cooks. I love Brandon Cooks, so I think I'm going to make a lineup real quick with Kareem Hunt as captain, and then I want to make one with Brandon Cooks. So I think Kareem Hunt is probably one of the safer options at captain, where it's you save some salary relief, like 4K from Gurley, right? 4,500 from Gurley, and where they're going to get similar scoring. I understand that Gurley has a much higher floor, but their ceilings look very similar. Their median games look pretty similar. So I'll take the 4,500 salary relief with Kareem Hunt in a game where, I think that Kareem Hunt can break those 60-yard plays. I know that Todd Gurley is a beast, but I think he's more of a bet for those consistent 10-yard gains. And Kareem Hunt's like, hey, I'm going to take this catch to the house. Call me Tyreek Hill. So we already get down to an average of 7,300. So after my captain spot, what I like to do at flex is kind of try to find some values where it's in a game like this where so many good players are available up top, we need to even it out where it's I don't mind. There's not okay, I need to have Brandon Cooks and I get Robert Woods, I'm pissed. You know what I mean? So it's let's see who we need to have as relief salary from the cheaper perspectives, and then we'll pay up for whoever we want and fill in the studs that way. So there's no one down here, guys. Like, if you win with one of these guys, congratulations. Cooper Kupp obviously out for the year. That brings me to Chris Conley, Josh Reynolds, Gerald Everett, and Sammy Watkins. I want to focus on these guys that are kind of in that, they're in that range of they could do nothing, they could have a big game. We're not really sure either way. There's not a slam dunk on either side of it. But Josh Reynolds, against Green Bay, had a good game. Last time there was no Kupp, we saw him, Seattle? No, that's when Kupp got hurt, and then Josh Reynolds came in 3 for 39. The next week, I think Kupp came back but didn't play the whole week. Is that when he got hurt again? And he's playing the snaps, but he's not getting the look. So it's something like at 4,800, it's kind of priced up considering what we want to get from him. So I think I'd much rather have Chris Conley, who's in such a similar situation that it's like third wide receiver on the team where the top receivers get all the work, but at least Chris Conley could be the number 2. But obviously Travis Kelce's the number 2 option. So it's like their pecking order is Hill, Kelce, which is 1 and 2, and then Hunt. So that's the top 3. And then the other way it's Cooks, Woods, and then Todd Gurley, and then Reynolds, and then Conley, right? So it's like basically they're both the team's 4th option this week. I think if anything, Reynolds has the opportunity to be the 5th option behind Everett when Conley is for sure the 4th option. So I like Chris Conley more at 1,200. We're going to put him in there. Obviously, it's going to change if Sammy Watkins plays because then they're both the 5th option. But still, I'm going to have Chris Conley in over Josh Reynolds this week. I think it makes more sense. We'll see. I'm going to kind of go back and forth a little bit. I want to talk a little bit more about these studs. Like, we got really cheap. We're all the way up to 9,000 a player. So, if we find one more really good value that we like, we can play everyone. So, let's talk about the quarterbacks. Do we want to go Jared Goff? Do we want to go Patrick Mahomes? Do we want to go both? Or do we want to go none of them? It all depends on what you guys are trying to do this week. And like I said in our Thursday night video, you got to really think about what you think the game's going to look like. Do you think it's going to hit that 63.5 over under? Do you think it's going to be a 70-point game where it's 38-32? Do you think that it's just back and forth taking shots? Do you think that one team controls the ball? Do you think that they actually struggle where it's like, there's only 50 points scored total where it's like 26-24? You guys really need to see, do you think that they're obviously going to constantly be able to move the ball, but then they get stopped? Do you think that they're not going to be able to move the ball, but they break off long plays? There's so many different ways that this game can go that's going to affect what the most optimal lineup that you can build is. So you really got to talk about that. And if you're asking me personally what I think is going to happen, I think they're both going to be able to move the ball, and I think they're both going to be able to score. So I don't think that I think this is actually going to be one of those back and forth heavyweight battles. We got two heavyweight boxers going back and forth, just slugging it out, both coming at them with their hands down. You hit me in the face, I hit you in the face. We're not blocking anything. We're just leaving it all on the floor, leaving it all in the ring. And I think that's kind of what's going to happen in this game. So I think the quarterbacks are nice. But, say I want Patrick Mahomes at 11-2, right? That's basically me saying that I want the pass catchers. And, I want the pass catchers in Kansas City. So, say Patrick Mahomes doesn't run the ball in at once this game, and I already have Conley and Hunt, right? This is going to be a cheap, heavy lineup. I can already tell because of the way I want to set this up. I got Tyreek Hill, so I got the deep ball threat of Patrick Mahomes. I got Travis Kelce, so I got the touchdown threat. So between these 4 guys, I have Patrick Mahomes. You know what I mean? Unless he runs in the ball, I basically have Patrick Mahomes because I have all 4 of his weapons. So I'm going to play it like that. And I want to run it back with either. I definitely want to run it back with Cooks, but I want to see what it gives me in terms of value after that. I can do both Cooks and Woods, right? You can have all 4 of the offense for the Chiefs plus the 2 receivers for the Rams. That's one way you can go about this. And you have $2,400 in salary relief. There's not anything that sticks out to me that I can go up on. Maybe replace Kelce with Goff, but then it's not the same thing where it's I'm trying to get all 4 of the Chiefs without missing out on it. So I would rather do it the other way if I'm building a lineup with that in mind. But say you want to go Goff, Cooks, Woods, Hill, Conley, Hunt. That's an awesome lineup. So this is my lineup, guys, where I'm thinking the Chiefs are just going to... I want to play the Chiefs and I don't want to play the quarterbacks. This is that type of lineup. And I know I'm missing out on Todd Gurley, which kind of sucks. So let me do a little bit different lineup where I'm more Ram focused. And that's with, I want to do Brandon Cooks as my MVP. I want to do Brandon Cooks. I want to get Gurley in there. And then I'm going to stick with, I'm going to go with Gerald Everett and my boy, who was I talking about? No, 1,200. Chris Conley. Because the thing is, I want to get Patrick Mahomes now because I got 4 Rams, so I can't get all the Chiefs. So why not go Mahomes Hunt, where it's like, okay, now on the other side of the thing, I get all the passing game and running game of the Chiefs, and I get the entire offense of the Rams except for Robert Woods. So I think that's a pretty interesting way to go with the lineup. You can switch out too. If you like Josh Reynolds over Gerald Everett, that's fine because you have the salary to do that. That's just kind of where I'm at, guys. It doesn't seem like, basically that's what I want to do. I want to be able to capture as much power out of each offense as possible within the salary. So the first one, I captured the entire Chiefs without having to pay for Mahomes because I got the running game and I got the 3 main pass catchers, and then I ran it back with both both Ram receivers. This way, I got the deep threat in Cook, so the monster that can just change his slate. I got Todd Gurley, and I got Reynolds. So it's like basically I'm missing out on Robert Woods, which hurts, but at the same time I have the main guys that matter like Gurley and Cooks, and I get to run it back with Mahomes, Hunt, and Conley, where it's like I save money with Conley, I get the entire Chiefs passing offense with Mahomes, and I get the entire Chiefs running offense with Kareem Hunt. So I love this game, guys. There's so many cool things you can do. I'm not going to go through all the lineup combinations because there's just so many, but this is more of like, I'm breaking down the process of what I thought was going to happen in each game and why each lineup looked the way it did. And, if you made it this far, guys, do me a favor, drop a like. Please subscribe to the channel. Let me know if you want to see more of these Showdown Slate videos. My main focus is obviously on the main slate on Sunday, but I did a Thursday night game. I'm doing the Monday night game this week because it's the Rams, but if you want to see it next Monday, let me know. Drop a comment, and I'll do more of them for you because I don't mind these videos. Obviously, most of my studying on the week is during the main slate, but especially when it's a game this fun, like I'm gonna look at it, I'm gonna play it. As always, I'm gonna enter this lineup. First off, guys, the last 2 times, if I entered the first lineup I showed you, not the second one, I would have made money, and the second one didn't make money. So let's go back to that Hunt lineup so I don't make it 3 in a row. So my other lineup was Kareem Hunt. Who else did we have? We had some Chris Conley in there. We had Hill and Kelsey, I think, and then that's how we had the Chiefs. We ran it back with Cooks and Woods. Is that right? And guys, I'm going to enter this lineup. You're going to be able to go on Monday night and be like, oh, is Cody lying? Scroll through who's playing. See Cody Marchand 13. Oh, Cody entered a lineup with Kareem Hunt, Chris Conley, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, Robert Woods, and Brandon Cooks. Like, I'm not going to lie about it, guys. I'm playing the lineups. And, let me know how you guys did. Subscribe to the channel. Like this video. And I'll talk to you next time.